evening, everyone. I'm your host, comedian, magician, Danny Whitson. But it's all tricks aside, because tonight we're turning the paranormal into the normal. Join me as we explore the gray areas of reality. We're going to talk all things paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, and aliens, and see how it's all connected. This podcast is brought to you by the Experiencer Support Association, and we are live. So if you're an experiencer yourself, or you're just plain nosy, be sure to send me your question and subscribe to the podcast. Now, get ready, because it's going to get deep. No, really, we're going to go way out there, because this is Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. What's happening, my paranormal junkies? Welcome to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat, and I'm your host, Danny Whitson. Guys, we've got a good show today for you, okay? We got a great show today. We don't have a special guest, okay, but we're talking about some special topics that I want you guys to chime in, man. Let's learn about these topics together. Today, we're going to be talking about cattle mutilations, which is a weird one to me, but it's always been very interesting. We're going to be talking about the alien hybrid theory, and also a brand new kind of breaking news. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I actually heard a little bit about this story last week. There was a particular popular podcast I was watching, and a guest came on and said that they were actually looking into making an announcement here in the next 6 months that we actually made alien contact, that through the James Webb telescope has picked up something they cannot explain, and also that they have received radio signals from another planet source, an intelligent radio signal. I heard this rumor last week. Okay, well, this week on I guess it was News Nation made the announcement that a particular NASA filmmaker who is actually working for Mark Zuckerberg. Yes. I mean, who doesn't think that guy's an alien anyways? You know what I mean? But Mark Zuckerberg has his own research group that's looking for life on other planets. And according to this NASA filmmaker, they have discovered life. And they're going to make that announcement possibly in the next month. So definitely, I would like to... Also, like I said, we're going to try to talk about cattle mutilations and the hybrid alien theory. But I'm not alone. No, I'm not. But first, before we get into this, I got to say we are broadcasting live from the E-United Public Radio Network and the UFO Radio Network, 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And now, let's bring on the man behind the scenes. Mean Chris Green. Where you at, brother? Pop up here. Ta-da-da!
How's it going, guys?
All right, man. Well, I tell you what, dude, I am mush-brained. I'm tired. I had a very busy weekend packed full of fun shows. I've been on the road. Glad to be back home to be able to talk about some cool stuff. But yeah, just as we was talking about, I find this weird. NASA filmmaker apparently says that alien life exists, and they received a radio signal is heard from the Alpha Centauri planet system. Ooh. Is what they're claiming. And we know Zucky has the money. We know Zucky has the money.
Yeah, of course.
We've all had our, we're going to be talking about hybrid theory, and we definitely have to talk about Mark Zuckerberg when we talk about that.
Yes.
So, but I mean, why would they put it out there? Would Zuckerberg get behind something like that? That's not true. So I don't think so. It's weird. It really is weird. And I had mentioned this in our in the TESA social group that we have, guys. And after I watched a particular podcast that had a guest on that kind of brought this up, said this could be being announced in the next 6 months, he said. And now I hear that they're talking about the next month making this kind of announcement. Now, for you guys watching or listening who think, yeah, right, the government will never let that happen. Of course, they're going to, guard their secrets, the best way they possibly can. What would be their incentive for making an announcement that life on other planets actually do exist and they have proof? Well, this is my theory. I think because anytime because the rumor in the UFO community has always been, is what I've heard a lot, is that they plan on giving full disclosure by the year 2030. Okay.
Really?
Yes. That's something that's talked about a lot, is like, that's what the process that they're doing now. They're slowly tearing the Band-Aid off, and it was 2030 is when they were talking about giving final disclosure to really let us in. Well, that being said, right there, how you doing, Lisa? Thank you for tuning in here. Lisa says, if it's real, why not announce it now? Exactly. I'm about to say, I think they are. If all this is true, what we're hearing now with the, what News Nation just released, if these things are true, if this is true, I'm thinking the incentive for them to make the announcement now is they're terrified about what is happening right now in Israel and the rest of the world. Guys, it's getting really serious over there. And I mean, as if it's not serious now. And I'm thinking, what would cool things off in the world by saying, hey, we have proof that there's life on other planets. Let's try to get our stuff together here on this planet with us. I don't know. I mean, that's just a theory, a reason, an incentive, because I do know they're terrified about what is going on, between Russia and the Ukraine and Israel. So it's just, there's a lot of bad stuff happening in the world right now. And that's just my theory. That's just my guess. That would be my incentive why they would go ahead and tell us now. Because, I mean, they're not going to do anything because it's the right thing to do, or because, they're only going to do it. And I feel like in some ways that their backs may be pushed against the wall a little bit about the situation, what's going on in the world right now. So, right. But that's definitely something to follow. What was Zuckerberg's? What is the name of that? They gave us the name here. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I'll
said it a couple times.
0.2 light years.
Here we go. Wait a minute. Zuggy's got his own name for this. What is it called? Give me just a second. Which, who knew he had this? Did you know he had anything to do with this?
Nope. I don't watch the news. Just because of all the, wars and everything.
But this guy is a NASA filmmaker, which I don't even know what is a I mean, he makes films for NASA, or he used to work for NASA. I know it's seen misreactions online. Breakthrough Listen is the name of Zuckerberg's organization. I guess it's kind of like SETI kind of thing. That looks for life on other planets. Mark Zuckerberg. I guess that's kind of cool. Yeah, Liv, put Liv's question up here for Chris.
Yeah, of course.
Liv's got she said, give the world a common global enemy, aka aliens, instead of possible world wars and nuclear disasters. Absolutely. That would be my guess. I think they're really worried. I think they are. And I mean, guys, it's bad. And Israel doesn't seem to be, cooling off anytime. And now Iran is in the mix, threatening, and like I said, and we're not even hearing, I don't know where, what media is reporting where you're at, but we used to hear about Russia and Ukraine like every day. Now we're not hearing anything, but it's still happening. It's still happening. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, you could say World War III is going on right now, just because
Oh, it
The
is.
United States, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, just because the United States isn't in it doesn't mean it's not happening. So that to me would be an incentive for them to go ahead and tell us that there's life on other planets. And I don't think they're going to tell us everything. If they do, they're not going to tell us what they really, really know. Like, things have been here all along for a long time. But I think that's another step in the process, because the only way, okay, you've got people like us who watch the show, follow the show, who are familiar with this world, familiar with this community and stuff. But then you have people who have no clue. They don't follow this. This is not their world. To them, some of them, it's still make-believe. And the only way that they're going to pay attention to something like this is if it comes from a source like NASA, or if it comes from a source like that. Even though you and I know they can be full of caca, and you don't have to go through that crap to find the truth, But so that's another reason why they may be, hey, we want you guys to make this announcement, this such and such, this is how we want you to do it. So, or it may just be that, I don't know. But that's the hot news right now in my world. But, and like that's, and hey, Jillian, I see you there. I don't know if you caught on. We were talking about Mark Zuckerberg. You know how we were talking about the hybrid theory. Hey, maybe Zuggy comes out. He's like, "Hey, my brother was a reptilian." We're like, "We knew it. We knew it, Zuggy. We knew it all along." Zuggy comes out of the closet, but he had nobody fooled. There we go. But what's your thoughts, man? What do you think, Chris?
Well, my thoughts. I think the government's doing sleight of hand.
Oh,
I think it's, hey, let's show them this, but hey, let's do this.
Well, I mean, it will be. So, I mean, what are they trying to what are they distracting us from then? I mean, like,
it could be war, could be
well, I mean,
taxes, could be a lot of things. You never know. You never know with the government.
Well, I don't. I mean, I think it's bigger. I think it's bigger than just dude. I never did. I always used to laugh about people when they talk about the Illuminati, but it's real. There is that secret group that runs everything. I don't know what we want to call them, but they do run crap. And yeah, I don't think it's ever been more obvious in all of history than now. We were just talking about not trying to get. This is not a political podcast, so we're not going to talk politics at all. But in the United States, didn't you find it a little funny that we basically just got handed two candidates and said, fight amongst yourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, in the United States, it doesn't work. It's not supposed to work that way. We're supposed to have a choice of candidates, and not saying that they're any good, but we're, supposed to have a choice. We didn't have a choice this election. It's like, what's in this hand? The right or the left? Pick one. That's all you get. It's almost like we were appointed somebody, really? And this is it. It's almost like, it doesn't feel natural. It feels like, no, sorry, it's either her or him. That's it. Sorry, this is what you got to do, and this is how it's been the whole time. So there's so much. It's kind of really odd right now. Things are really weird right now, and in the U.S., I'm terrified about the results either way. What's going to happen? So that might be a reason. It might be like maybe they're a little worried that things could crumble based on the election. Maybe it's time that we announce that there is life on other planets that'll maybe bring us together. I don't know, but I do know there's something to this story. There has to be something. And now I want to say this because I saw this morning too. And I'm not a big fan of NBC News, even though it creeps up on my TV every morning. But when it comes to information like this on aliens and or UFOs, phenomenon. NBC is always very conservative when it comes to this topic, and it's because I think that because NBC is a puppet pulled network, it's puppet pulled controlled, but even they touched on it just a tad this morning, and it wasn't so much of what the Zuckerberg research thing, but it was talking about how NASA was launching a mission to check out Jupiter's moon. One of Jupiter's moon, I want to say it's the one that is covered in ice, but with water underneath the ice caps. And they think, anyways, they're going there to check for life. And the mission ends. Guess what year the mission ends, folks? Guess what year? 2030. So I saw that and I thought, wow, that's interesting. So anyways, let's see. Liv with another question. How you doing, Liv? We love your questions. Liv's awesome. Possibly start the fear of aliens, global propaganda, breakdown of religions, and start people's reliance on big government to say you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. And when you go on the big government trying to save us kind of agenda, that's you got to be careful how you walk that line, even though because everything's a gray area, folks. Nothing is black and white. And the problem is whenever you get into black and white, theory, that's whenever you get that's where the crazy people come. That's where you get the crazy militias. That's where you get the severe. That's where you get the craziness. But you can say big government come to save us, and there's gray area in that comment. And yes, that can be a possibility. Absolutely, it's absolutely can be. They want us to rely on them and run to them and suck on the teats of the government. But you can also keep that theory and stay rational, and then not be decked out in camo, hiding in the woods, eating squirrel eggs. Yeah. I mean, who knows? But it's just like I said, it's an interesting theory, and if we do get disclosure in our lifetime, if this does happen, this is a heck of time to be alive, folks.
I don't think it will.
Chris doesn't think it will, but dude, look, just think of all the stuff we have seen. Think about this, man.
Yeah,
we have seen some stuff
but
already.
But it's government.
So
is really government going to let us see?
I think they're scared. I do. I think they're scared. Let's do this, man. We will speaking of is anybody first of all, is anybody in the chat group? Are any of you guys familiar with the cattle mutilation? Where they find these cows out in the ranches, out in the fields, and they've literally a lot of stuff happened at Skinwalker Ranch with the cattle.
Okay, yeah.
And but this is a common thing. Well, it happens all over the world. That they find these cattle that have, it's almost like surgically, like eyeballs will be missing and they'll be completely gutted or there'll just be certain organs missing. It's a very weird phenomenon that has been going on. I think, the first reported case was the 1600s.
Really?
So,
I've heard them getting struck by lightning, but
lightning's not going to surgically remove their eyeball or let me take their left lung, or something.
No.
Yes, Liv. Linda Moulting Howe, if I didn't screw her name up, is an expert on them, and it's something that still goes on to this day that they have no clue what is going on, dude, and it makes no sense. It makes, there's people that's tried to blame it on maybe the chupacabra, but no, this is too precise. This is someone's doing surgery on these things. It's a weird. It is very weird, strange, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. Maybe because it's cattle, But I think it's much more interesting in crop circles and stuff, And And I think it's much more harder to explain than that. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
well, I've heard theories, and now keep in mind, I'm not highly educated on the topic,
Right.
but it has interested me. And, you know, like I said, I tried my hardest to do some homework this weekend, guys, but I was slammed with shows, and I've been on the road all weekend. But in between, I would, you know, pull up cattle mutilation and see what I could learn. But I think I just thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about. But yeah, Linda Moulton Howe. She's 82 years old now, so she's been on this, for a long time.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a. Some people seem to believe it's UFO related.
Could be.
You know, some people believe that it's you know, I've heard. I don't know how credible this is, but I've heard some people believe that, you know, there's some type of cartilage, there's something in the cows that they're using. And let's relate this to the hybrid theory that we've talked about. You know, like, you know, one of the common things that you hear about a lot of the abductions is that the Greys in particular do the reason why they do the abductions, because they're taking our DNA because their DNA is damaged. They can't have empathy. They can't feel love. There's some of these things that they can't have, and they're getting it from us. And maybe there's something in cattle. I'm just throwing this out here. I'm spitballing, but maybe there's an agreement with the Illuminati that, okay, quit messing with the humans, but you can have our cattle because, you know, we love our beef. And I don't know. I'm just spitballing, throwing that out there, but it's definitely it's too strange. I can't see like a group of human beings, you know, going cow tipping out in the pasture and then surgically remove in this precise. I mean, this would have to be a group of surgeons, by the way. This isn't some maniac with a chainsaw. I mean, this is like surgery type stuff done on these cattle. It's weird. And it's not a wild animal. It can't be. I don't understand it. It's the strangest thing ever.
Weird.
But it's definitely weird, dude. It's definitely weird, man. It's that, and I love cows, dude. I feel bad for the cows, man.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I eat meat. I am a carnivore, but
Me too.
and I'm going to recommend, if you like to eat meat, you know, especially beef, if you like steaks, there's a video out there of a cow playing soccer with children. Do not watch it. Dude, I was like 5 minutes into that, and I was like, this is the sweetest animal I've ever seen. Oh my God. You know, this is gonna mess with my steak, dude. I can't watch this no more. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't know exactly.
Jillian and everything. Yeah.
Put Jillian's comment up here.
Putting it up there right now.
Cattle mutilation is weird. AF. What does AF mean, Jillian?
We can't say it here.
We can't say it, but it's just the two words. I mean, two letters. I've watched stuff on it, like how their blood seems drained. I know. I mean, what is going on with that? How is that? I mean,
I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing, man. Yeah, I mean, what are we? A group of surgeons are showing up in a cow field in the middle of the night, and it's just the weirdest thing. Or, see, in that situation, what's more likely? You tell me. Is it more likely that a group of surgeons are just showing up in the middle of a cow pasture and, you know, doing surgery on cows, or aliens? Dude, I got to go with the aliens, bro. I'm with the aliens.
I've never seen, you know, group of surgeons riding around in a black and white van. So,
yeah, it's got to be aliens, dude. I think it's aliens. It's weird. And now, well, and I mean, you know, I think there's a connection there with, like I said, you know, why would they be doing this? You know, why? What do these cows have that they need? And I mean, because they're not getting the steaks, they're not getting a good ribeye. You know, they're getting weird parts. You know, they're getting like eyeballs and they're getting organs and.
Ooh.
What's that? Did we get one? Aliens. The answer is aliens or government or a combo. That's what I think. I think there could be kind of like an agreement, you know, like there could be something that this cattle have, you know, biologically that they need, and they could take from us, but this is a way, hey, look, you know, there's more cows than there are humans, you know, and hey, we got an issue with cow farts in the world too, you know. Cow farts are causing global warming. So here's the deal. You can have our cows, leave us alone. And because, by the way, folks, the global warming is a thing. And yes, it's caused by farts, but you want to know whose farts besides the cows that's even worse? Ours. So, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's because to lower the likely of cow farts, they're letting the aliens take. And I'm being dead serious. Let's see. We got a question. Thriller James. First of all, I love the name. They're getting where they can grow something. They're taking the whole cow uterus and the sac and everything with the reproduction. Absolutely. That's another thing they're doing that. They're taking the reproduction organs. He's right. Thank you, Thriller, man. That was a great bit of insight there with it. Because I'm trying to learn, like I said, I'm still in the process of learning about this too, because it's not one of the top of the topics when it comes to, this area and in the UFO and alien world, you know, but yeah, which is, so it makes you think. And I think it may I think we could connect this that we had talked about, like the alien human hybrid theory. Are they doing this? Are they, I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I think they're getting energy from it.
There we go. I mean, that could be. Lisa's got a question right up here. Let's get Lisa's question in here real quick for the break. It was up there. Where'd it go? Where'd it go, Chris?
That wasn't Lisa's. It wasn't a question, but it says something.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Lisa. I'd say the government, since the people say they can see the large black helicopters the same time of the mutilations. I didn't know there was the helicopters, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Let's get Liv up here too real quick. Do you guys believe that there are government contracts with aliens from decades ago?
Yes.
I do. And you have heard the, was it Truman, that they believe met with the aliens right before World War II.
Really?
Yeah. There's a story about a Truman meeting, and he was gone for a few days, actually. There's a story about Truman meeting with aliens right before we got in World War II, and that's an interesting story. You know, no one could find him, didn't know where he was, and come to find out he was having a meeting with them. So there's a lot of stories like that. I tell you, when we come back, we're getting ready to cut to the break. And as soon as we come back, though, I'm going to touch base on the hybrid theory about possible human aliens walking amongst us. We've all seen some people that look, ugly. And we think, hey, man, you part alien. Your mama's an alien. I don't know. We'll find out and see if there's any connection. Also, we can probably touch base on the cattle mutilation. But you guys get your questions ready. We'll be right back after this, these messages. And Chris will be back with me too, right?
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys here in a minute.
Have you ever wondered, or maybe just thought to yourself, if there were others just like you? You know, people with extraordinary abilities, psychogenic advancement, and perhaps unique intuitions. Maybe you just wondered if there were other people who experienced unimaginable, unexplained, or even unusual and paranormal events. Are there people who have more questions, more fears than answers? Well, you're not alone. You've never been alone. We believe you. Sign up for EA today.
Business. It's your property. Your assets are worth protecting. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services specializes in patrolling and inspecting residential or commercial property against fire, theft, vandalism, terrorism, and illegal activity. People and buildings are monitored to prevent crime. Keep your property, your people, and your assets safe from threat. Our elite staff are dual licensed private investigators and security guards. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services. Go to blacklightiss.com.
All right, guys, if you're just now tuning in, me and Chris are been here talking about cattle mutilations. Did I say it right?
Yes.
And hybrid theory. And like I said, we had some breaking news at the earlier, UFO alien news for you guys. Did not catch that. The Mark Zuckerberg has his own little group. I can't even remember the name. I can never remember the name, but I did say it earlier. But he's got his own little group searching for alien life, which that was news to me too, which that kind of makes me happy. Like Zuckerberg catches a lot of flack for a lot of weird stuff, for Facebook being bad and for a lot of stuff. But I kind of like the fact that he's taking his money, at least doing something cool with it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think Zuckerberg's a hybrid, so maybe that's it too. I don't. You know what, Liv? And not unless there's aliens, there's red-headed aliens running around somewhere on a planet.
Well, I know I'm half a human, so.
Chris Green with the home run joke, folks. I can't top that. There you go, funny guy. I can't top that one. There we go. Chris is half human, and I'm from the red planet. But other than that, I think I'm human. I don't know, maybe. Which we're not bragging about that by no means. But being human, we're the scuzz buckets of this planet. I don't know, man. The hybrid theory, it's something that whenever you look at stuff, yeah, home run, Chris, home run. When you look at look at evolution. Okay, look at evolution, and a lot of things make sense even whenever you start looking down. Like, okay, you know, was our ancestors apes? But I mean, you know, when it's all said and done, did they land here? Did a alien make out with an ape? And boom, here we are. There's Adam.
Maybe.
You know, it can make sense in a lot of ways. Or, I mean, were we just, is Earth just a big petri dish? Are we just some type of science experiment that, you know,
people are looking down on?
Yeah. I mean, that could be it. We've always heard a theory that, you know, I know people have heard a theory that the aliens are us from the future. And
yeah, I heard that too.
I've heard that theory. And I don't know. Maybe that's got to do with the cattle mutilation. Maybe they're popping in, doing science experiments on that. You know, maybe it's us. Let's see, Jillian, pop hers up here. Pop that question up here from Jillian. She's got, I recommend the book, Arcturian Anthology by Tom Kenyon. Then take what resonates. You know, do they have that in audiobook? I'm like, I'm so busy. If it's in audiobook, I will totally listen to that. But if they do, that's something I just got done listening to Imminent, Lou Elizondo's book.
Yeah, how was that?
I enjoyed it. First of all, it was pretty cool because my hometown was mentioned in it, Oak Ridge.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty dope. But yeah, I kind of liked it. To be honest with you, I kind of enjoyed it because a lot of stuff I already knew. You know, I was already familiar with. But you know, I think it just kind of made Lou a little more credible in my book because I don't understand why he would do and walk away from the job that he had in the good life to living in an RV. And now, of course, people say, well, now I'm sure he's made a pretty penny off this book, and he should. You know, good for him. Kudos for him. You know, I hope he does because he's got to feed his family some way. Liv has got a question. Why wouldn't there be hybrids? I think our human form was created by outside forces because we are not the best form to survive earthly environment. That is absolutely correct. Okay. So whenever Liv's got a great point there. Okay. First of all, to walk upright on Earth is not the best. Dude, we're not built the best way for gravity, by the way.
No.
That's why when you look at everything else on this planet, it moves on all fours. Okay. To walk on 2 feet, this is not the best method. So you're absolutely right. Human beings are not evolutionary built for Earth, for gravity. And then look at the other thing, you know, like all the animals, all these mammals are covered. Their bodies are completely covered in fur. Okay. That fur also helps protect you from UV rays, from dangerous radiation that's coming down from the sun, beaming down. Well, guess what? We only have certain areas covered. You know, most of our skin is exposed to radiation, and that's why you see so many cancers and stuff. This is our home planet. We shouldn't be victims to our own environment. You know, I think there's a good point there. So maybe, you know, maybe there's something to that as well. Great question. Great point there, Liv.
So that book is on audio.
Okay, I will totally, Jillian, if you can drop that in the TESA chat, I will check that out. It's apparently a channeled book by a collective of there's the Arcturians, ETs, and they give their information about humanity's history, why we are here. So I wonder if that theory is in there then. That's kind of basically the hybrid theory. part of it, I guess. And is the other part, am I getting it mixed up though, guys? I'm not getting that mixed up with what the Greys are doing, with the theory that what the Greys are actually doing with the abductions by taking our DNA. I don't know. But and not trying to be funny, but just a little funny. Just a little funny. Let's be honest. How many times have you seen somebody that looked a little funky and you're like, man, you know, either your sister is your cousin, or, you know, maybe there's some, you know, intergalactic stuff happening there. Maybe you got a little bit of alien in you, dude. Yeah, I think there are. I think there's several forms of hybrid theory. Then maybe because but when you look at it through science and like the evolution, it makes sense. There's something, because we don't know. We track so far back, and we'll say, "Oh, we found the earliest form of humans," or we found. Heck, in some cases, like they found like extremely small people, almost like
me.
Well, it's much smaller than you, very smaller than you, Chris.
Really?
I've heard. Yeah, they have. They have found like almost like gnome type creatures. Yes, This is real. This is real stuff.
Oh.
I think there's been like probably no telling how many forms humans have went through. What's this? Liv says, "Oh, I have seen people that make me believe the hybrid theory, dude. I have too, man. Every now and then you'll see somebody and you're just like, whoa, what's going on here? But like these people, and I don't know, man. There could be a lot of connections with a lot of stuff. Are we trying? Or let's think of it this way: instead of we being the source of somebody else's evolution, what if people are? What if we are trying to boost our own evolution? What if it is us from the future, and this is how we evolve? What if we're trying to? What if we are time traveling to the past to boost our own evolution?
Could be.
That could be it. Those are just theories that's throwing out there. I don't know, but it is an interesting one. And how would you really know? How would you really know?
You don't.
You don't. Like, what is the saying? Like, how many times in your lifetime, like, you may walk past a serial killer and not know it? So, how do you know? I thought this was, there's a clip, and you guys can go check this out. You can go, I don't know, any of you guys remember the band Smashing Pumpkins? The lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins? Yes. Okay. He actually was on the Howard Stern show, and he said that he actually saw he saw this with his own eyes. And this is what he's claiming. He claimed that he saw with his own eyes a shapeshifter, somebody morph into another person. And hearing the guy tell the story, there's no doubt about it that he this is what he believes he saw. I don't think he's not lying. Why would somebody like him lie about something like that? It just doesn't make sense. But just listen to the story. Until the guy clearly believes in what he's saying. So it got me thinking. I was like, how many people that you maybe, talk to on a day-to-day basis, or just checking out at the store, or person working behind the counter, you don't know. You don't truly know. That could be, what is that person? Could that be a hybrid? Could that be, those things I just find kind of interesting, Yeah. So, but I don't know, Chris. I'm doing all the jamming. What's your feel?
Well, like, I'm getting off topic here, but I've always wanted to know what people think.
Okay.
Like, of anything. Like, I would love to be able to read people's thoughts.
Well, we've had those people on here, so
yeah. I just wish I could do it.
Yes, I think shapeshifters were a common thing on Skinwalker Ranch. I do. I think I've never encountered anything like that, Liv. Never have I. So I can't say that they're real, they're not real, but people have talked about shapeshifters, and they've talked about experience. I believe that would scare the heck out of me if I saw that, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, out of everything you could possibly see, I mean, imagine looking at someone and then they just completely change form and figure right in front of you. I mean, I couldn't imagine any more. Oh my God, that would be terrifying. That would get me. Aliens, not so much, man. Ghosts, not. I mean, ghosts don't really scare me. It's more of an interest. Bigfoot might creep me out a little bit, but a shapeshifter definitely. I'm out of there, bro. I see somebody change face, I'm like, nah, man, I'm gone. That's terrifying. But yeah, Skinwalker Ranch reported a lot of shapeshifters. And gosh, I can't believe I can't remember the lead singer dude's name to Smashing Pumpkins. Chris.
I'm doing it right now.
Google me, baby. I cannot let's see. Liv says, Chris, I'm reading Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, and I envy that easy telepathy. I think we have that potential within all of us. I think we do too, Liv. Like every now and then, like I'll be thinking about macaroni and cheese, and then all of a sudden I step in a big old pile of macaroni and cheese. Has anybody ever had that happen to them before? Okay, just me? All right, never mind. We'll move on.
Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan. Yes. Billy Corgan. If you guys get a chance, look up Billy Corgan's story. He was on the Howard Stern show, and he talks about witnessing in the same room a shapeshifter, and he has seen this person in particular do this multiple times. And whoa, dude, once is enough for me, but I just thought that was interesting because I don't know why in the world would that guy make something up like that. Liv says she has never stepped into mac and cheese. Man, you guys haven't lived. Okay, Liv lied, and she's never lived until she stepped in some mac and cheese.
I've never stepped in mac and cheese.
You guys haven't partied. You guys gotta.
No, I eat it first. Like, no, it doesn't hit the
You guys
ground.
got to come to one of my shows then, okay? You'll step in some mac and cheese, I promise. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want to read minds. I mean, I pretend like I read minds all the time. I do pretend. I play pretend like I read minds, but I'm not really reading minds. And the reason why, though, man, I see some of these minds, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to know what's in there. That's a little scary.
Well,
but I am a fan of the movie They Live. And I love the way whenever Roddy Piper puts on the shades and he can see what's really going on. That would be interesting. What if, you did that and then you saw the shapeshifters, you saw the hybrids, you saw these things. And what's crazy is that could be a real thing. That's what's scary about it. Liv says Skinwalker Ranch scares me and intrigues me. I fear there are portals all over. And isn't that weird too? Because I agree, Skinwalker just happens to be the most popular one, but there's other places. There's other places, portals there's places that you don't even know about. We were talking earlier this week, I think yesterday, Jillian had dropped some cool documentaries and stuff. Jillian, if you can, there was one on YouTube that she talked about that was a very interesting one. And then me and Antoinette, we just watched a very interesting investigation. I want to say it's called The Hunting Lounge on Amazon Prime. And it's basically it's in Georgia, and it's almost like a portal for all things paranormal. And this is the cool thing that they do, by the way, in this documentary. How there's the kind of the theory that all this is connected, and where the paranormal ghost is connected with aliens and UFO phenomenon. Well, it starts off as paranormal ghost, and then there's an alien connection there. I don't want to spoil it, but I loved that. I love that because they actually bring a psychic in, and the psychic immediately starts. It's really good. It's called The Hunting Lounge. I enjoyed it. Thought it was really good, but it was on a place out in the middle of Georgia, and it's almost like a portal for paranormal, kind of like Skinwalker Ranch. So I highly recommend that one. And do you remember the one that Jillian was talking about, Chris, earlier? It's on YouTube.
Right. No, I didn't.
I cannot remember the name of it, and I hate that, guys. I'm sorry. If we think of it next week, we will pull it up. And if you hear barking, that is my chocolate lab Boba, who wants to be on the podcast.
Of course.
So I keep telling Boba he can't be on the podcast. Hillier, yes, on YouTube channel. Planet Weird. Thank you, Jillian.
Yeah.
Definitely want to check that out. I'm going to watch that this week. And Hillier, Kentucky. Gosh, I'm surrounded by the strangeness, by high strangers, bro. Georgia, Kentucky. I was just in Kentucky. So if I would have known that, I would have made a special trip out to Hillier just to check that place out.
So what was that show again that you were watching?
I think it's called The Hunting Lounge on Amazon Prime. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
I'm going to go look that up.
So yeah, definitely worth checking out. And then Hillier on YouTube on Planet Weird. That's another one to check out. We got homework to do, guys. So I'm giving you guys homework. Lisa, Liv, folks, I want you guys to check out some of these shows. And hold on 1 second. Can you guys hear Boba? Can you hear?
Yes, I can. Oh yeah.
You can hear Boba. Great. Yes, well, Boba, like I said, every now and then he wants to be on the show.
Well, he has to put his 2 cents in.
Here, Liv just called me out. Liv put me on the spot. You see, put her question up here. Put her question. She goes, "Why aren't you out there investigating, Danny? You're near hotspots." That's true. I am near hotspots. I am. I need to squeeze in some investigating time. I do. I need to do that.
We have the tools.
So, well, I tell you what, next time because I go to, maybe I could like schedule these things around my shows.
There you go.
You know, like maybe that would be pretty cool. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, and there's something about the state of Kentucky, guys. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, because not this past weekend, but the last time I was in Kentucky, this was weird. This was, and I can't remember the town. It's like Bardsville, something Bardsville. But anyway, poor Puppers probably knows far more about it than we do. Boba does. I think Boba does. But Boba's like, he's trying to tell us something right now. But the last time I was in Kentucky, this town in particular had like a Netflix documentary on it about like murders, which really? I thought was interesting. But anyways, after the show, you know, because I do a bit about in my show, I do a bit about ghosts, and you know, I talk about, you know, the paranormal, have a little fun with it. And but anyways, after the show, people always want to come up to me and tell me their ghost story or their paranormal story. And I mean, they were willing to give me a tour and do the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, I didn't have time. So maybe that's something I need to do. Maybe I need to start setting that up. So great idea, Liv. Maybe I'll start checking out some of these towns and stuff that I'm in afterwards. I think it'd be interesting. And bring Boba with me.
Yes.
So, but anyways, man, I think this is kind of a fun. Do we know who next week's guest is, by the way?
No.
We're getting close to Halloween, dude.
Yes, we are.
We need some Halloween guests.
I could tell you who it is, but I'm not telling you what the person does.
Tell me what their shtick.
It is Bruce. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. We're just going to call him Bruce.
All right, we got Bruce. That's all we know, and we don't even know what Bruce does.
He is a doctor.
Oh, cool. You guys hear that?
So
We
this
got-
one might be good.
We got Dr. Bruce coming on the show. So I'm looking forward to talking. I love talking to doctors on this show. So yeah, looking forward to that one. That's going to be fun. Bruce Almighty, absolutely, Almighty Bruce. So Dr. Bruce Almighty, ladies and gentlemen, please sure to tune in next week and check that out. Anything that we need to plug or say or anything?
You can do everything. I am getting out of here, and you can do the rest.
I get to play wrap up. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I will see you next week, right?
Yes, sir. You will.
Okay, man. We'll talk to you later, brother.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think this was a fun episode. Hey, I let me just say this. I love the fact that you guys pop in here every week. I love hearing your questions. I love checking in. My Beyond the Tinfoil Hat fam is what I'm going to call you guys, because you're my fam. I love the questions. Be sure to check out Hillier on YouTube on Planet Weird, and check out The Hunting Lounge on Amazon Prime. Those are two really cool documentaries. I highly recommend them. Guys, tell your friends to like and subscribe to the podcast. Whatever platform you listen to, we're everywhere. So all the streams help. So be sure to spread the word. Let us know that we're one of the coolest paranormal conspiracy UFO podcasts out there. If you have not done so, be sure to head over to Patreon, Heed the World, show us a little bit of love there. If you have any investigations, anything that's happened, any experiences, head over to experiencersupport.org and let Ryan Stacy know your story. And if you haven't, show me some love. At Danny Whitson at Super Magic Boy on Instagram, and or Danny Whitson Magic and Comedy on Facebook. Show me some love. I'm even on TikTok with some stupid videos. If you want to hop on there, Danny Whitson Magic and Comedy. And show us some love there too. I love to see you guys pop up there. And like always, guys, we are broadcasting live from the E-United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network on 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Guys, next week, we've got Dr. Bruce. We don't know his last name, but Dr. Bruce. I'm not even sure what we're going to be talking about, but I promise you it'll be interesting. Stay tuned. Follow the UFO story happening there on News Nation, News Break. That's only going to get even more interesting. And like always, folks, keep the normal or the paranormal normal. And I will see you guys next week. All right, that does it for this episode of Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. A big shout out for tonight's awesome guest, and a bigger shout out for everyone who tuned in. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever it is you listen to your podcasts. And like always, be sure to stay curious, heed the world, and keep the paranormal normal. I'm your host, Danny Whitson, and this has been Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.